looking at building timeless businesses, you should, businesses that are really of a godly vision
Exactly.
should last 200,
400
years.
exactly.
Because even if you look at Abraham, the promises that he got from God, he didn't see them
Exactly.
in
Didn't
his
see anything.
lifetime.
Yeah.
But it perpetuated throughout the generations.
It's very difficult for us black people to have companies which can run for 30 years, because most of the companies are sort of more like deals. So let us talk about the mantra. Like, I've noticed that most of the young people, they're falling in love with quick money.
That's true.
That's why you notice that you see a sport betting, it'll be full.
Oh yeah. We now have artificial intelligence. Our young kids should be learning about artificial intelligence from a primary school level to say, what can I do with artificial intelligence? Learning things like coding, some of these skills.
Hi, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Nyazungu. Welcome to the podcast, as we usually call it, Jailbreak Africa. We used to call it Ask Jerry, the Chartered Vendor, but we're now calling it Jailbreak Africa, where we need to change the mindset of Africans in terms of entrepreneurship, business, and how they do things. Whilst I've noticed that entrepreneurship is now rife in Africa, you look at countries like Zambia, Malawi, everywhere, Zimbabwe, things are happening in Africa, and we've got all the resources. If you put that flavor of entrepreneurship, I think you can be the best continent in the world. But anyway, today I'm super excited. I'm actually joined by the managing director of a company called Compulink Systems. That's my homeboy, straight from Manicaland, Mr. Simon Nyamuda. Welcome, my brother.
Thanks so much, Jerry. Thanks for having me on the show.
How's it? How's Compulink?
Compulink is good.
Okay.
We are optimistic and also encouraged by support from M&J.
Thank you so much. So tell me, who is Mr. Nyamuda? Who is Mr. Simon?
All right. So Simon Nyamuda is a second generation business person. I represent the second generation, leading an organization which was started and founded by my parents in 1991.
1991.
Yeah, so I think it's in line with even your mantra of building timeless businesses.
Exactly.
Because it's 33 years of being in the ICT space. So you can appreciate how much technology changes at such a rapid pace. So to remain relevant and in the game
33 years.
For 33 years, I think is really testament, and I'm really grateful for the foundation that they set.
Okay.
I'm a believer, married to one wife.
Not three.
Not three. Have one son, and I'm a believer in Jesus Christ and
that's good.
His saving grace.
That's good. So talk to me. You said it was Compulink in 1991.
Yes.
What were we doing in 1991? Because look at it, I think computers, I still remember early 2000. That was my first time touching a computer.
Wow.
When we still had those Macintosh, those big ones.
Yeah.
And I know, actually in 2000, we were only doing typewriting.
Wow.
I still remember typewriting.
Yeah, with ink.
Then after that, I still remember we're doing now the computers. It was scary. Even touching the computer itself.
Oh, yeah.
It was so scary.
It's a luxury.
That's me. So talk to me. The vision in 1991.
Yes. So the name Compulink was derived from networking. So really linking of computers. And that's where the name came, Compulink. And back then, there was traditional networking, which was sort of done in a bus. It was a bus system, and my father then had done training. Previously, he was at NCR and had gone for some training, and there was now a new networking that now came across, and this was now your structured cabling. So really, the networking solutions which we started offering came right in 1991, and you can appreciate that at this time period, your server. So now you've got these small servers, powerful servers.
Exactly.
A server then, even for a bank, these were called your mainframes.
Exactly, a mainframe.
And your server was actually, even bigger than the size of this room. So you can imagine the computing power that it would use, the cooling it used to use just to run simple applications. And really, my father, from the training that he got from NCR, previously was also at NRZ, then branched out even into the unknown. I mean, this is 33 years ago, where having a computer was a luxury, and most individuals didn't have a computer. So yeah, that's where the dream started.
The dream started.
Yeah.
Okay, because it's fascinating. Compulink in 1991.
Yeah.
I think computers were just introduced even in countries like Europe and America.
Yeah,
especially.
Yeah.
I think probably only banks had computers this side.
True.
And I like what you actually said, and it resonates with our mantra, building timeless businesses, which I noticed that is the reason why most of the businesses in Africa are failing, because we are always restarting. Or what I also noticed is sometimes I'm in consultants, then my kid comes in, she wants to be a doctor. She wants to be an engineer, whereby they're going to be also restarting. So tell me, because I'm so concerned that, and would also want to tell our viewers to say, what really happened? How were you trained?
Okay.
Were you born and actually probably your career was directed towards computers and engineering, or it was just something which you said when you were grown up and say, I think I can go and help my father? How did it happen? Because I really want to know the recipe. Because remember, we also have kids.
Yes.
We also want them, because your kid is supposed to carry on up to even 100 years.
Yes.
And the next generation also moves. And remember, your father has built, you are already known in the market. Whatever you're going to be doing and the connections which you're going to have are also going to benefit your kid. Definitely. So imagine if it's the one who is now running, those guys will be now billionaires.
That's the prayer.
But now, what we want to know is to say, how did your father groom you to be where you are right now?
All right, fantastic. I think that's a brilliant question, Jerry. So seeing my father and mother running this business, it was always inspirational. Going to their offices. They were in a high-rise building, 9th floor, megawatt house. And the business was taking up the whole floor. It was such a dream. And the organization had partnerships with companies such as IBM, Novell, Microsoft, Cisco.
Huge.
So it was always inspiring. It was an experience going to their offices and spending time there. And, through them being in the technology space, we got access to technology at a very early age. Okay. So by 1998, we actually had a computer at our home, and internet. So we had a dial-up modem, 56K kbs, kilobytes per second. So you dial it up and it's going just to connect to the internet. So I think that exposure was very key. Using Windows. This was Windows 95. Then, so definitely I was the cool kid at school. We had the landline, we had the dial-up, and I think that already created within me a hunger to want to be in the technology space. So growing up, I looked at two career paths, and was looking at either finance route, but through the partnerships that were there, I think my dad used to travel, and he went to you'd go to the US, he would go all across the world. And when I was very, very young, he bought me a book, and it was the biography of Bill Gates, the autobiography. And it was now my dream to be like, oh, I want to be like Bill Gates. Can we build a Microsoft? So that was something which was at a tender age, because I was still in primary school then. But I think it sort of fizzled out. So when I was now on my O-level break, I wrote an application then, and I said, I want to, can I come and intern during my O-level break? And then I think the company had grown to the stage where it was big, and my father was now what you deem group CEO, group managing director. So he then just passed it on to the managing director of the Zim unit then, and it fizzled out. So I didn't do that internship. So I think that's a note that people can learn to say, get your kids involved in a young stage.
Exactly.
So I was excited about the business, but maybe I didn't fully get the opportunity. So it was only when I then I think I was now in upper six that I then fully got exposure into the company and into the business. Largely when I briefly came and worked a certain time period during one of the holidays, and when I then finished high school, I then came and I was on attachment, and I started grassroots. I was in the stores department, and my first exercise was to reconcile every single stock item that's been purchased, and to reconcile where it went, and to reconcile what the stock position should be of the company. So that was pretty cool. It was exciting. But I think the best thing when I was there, they integrated me into everything. So from that point, I knew what was the bank balance of the organization. If there was any critical meeting, I would sit in the sales meeting. I would sit in the management meeting. And, I'm just 18 years old, and you're getting that sort of exposure. So, candidly, I would have access to the cash flow forecast. I would have access to the management accounts. I would have access. And I think that was the best thing that they did. So they didn't even limit me to say, okay, you're in the stores department or you're in finance, a certain function. I really knew and had access to everything that was going on in the business. So I think that was a good learning point, and I think it's a good learning point for any entrepreneur who wants to get their children involved in the business. Exactly. Let them know everything that's happening. And I think our friends of a lighter pigmentation have gotten it very, very well. Whether it's a farm, the kid, whether he's 12 years old, has probably got a motorbike and knows the whole perimeter of the farm, knows what's happening. Whether it's a shop store, you find kids 8 years old and they're playing in the store, they're assembling, they're even packing the shelves within the shop. So I think when you have your kids, get them involved, get them to participate. It shouldn't be a case of calling them as a rescue mission.
I'm now sick. I now have a heart attack. Then I'm saying, no, kid, come here. And they don't even know where to start.
They don't know where to start. They've grown other interests. But really, looking at building timeless businesses, you should, businesses that are really of a godly vision should last 200, 400 years.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because even if you look at Abraham, the promises that he got from God, he didn't see them in his lifetime. But it perpetuated throughout the generations. And really we're called to have limitless visions. And visions from God may be out of reach, but they're never out of sight.
Exactly.
So remember what vision you have, and know that it can even be perpetuated throughout the generations.
That's true. And sometimes I'm not going to live to see that vision actually.
100%.
Exactly. So I think
100%.
on that one, when you're looking at Compulink right now, and its vision, your father right now, when did he actually now say it? I think you can now take it over. I think I'm now okay. I can now step down, and you become the MD. I can right now. What is the position he's occupying? What is it?
So he's on the board.
He's now at the board.
Yes, but
it's no longer doing the day-to-day running
in a
of the
non-exec
businesses.
role. No.
So at what stage? Because we want other people to know. Because sometimes we can hand over these companies prematurely to our kids.
Definitely.
And sometimes we can also hand them over when it's now probably too late.
That's true.
We now have probably few years to
to
mentor them.
Yes.
But probably when we allow them to make mistakes whilst they are growing. So at which stage did they actually say, I think you can now handle this baby?
All right. So it was, well, I would say it was in phases. So in 2013, my parents then decided to say that they wanted to pass on the baton to the next generation.
That was almost after 20 years. Huh?
That would be
22.
22 years, after 22 years. So I was also working at the time. I was also working with my brother as well. And
your brother is at Compulink?
we were together.
Okay.
Yeah.
So where is he now?
He's started his own firm.
Okay.
Yes.
Doing the same thing, or has got other interests?
He's in the IT space,
but with different,
with a more keen interest in software.
Okay.
Development.
Okay. Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah. So they then had a discussion to say, okay, we want to pass on the business to the next generation, and then we went through a process. So we went through a process with Lori Mac. So I think some of the counsel that they received was to say, in choosing maybe the person who will be leading the organization, it needs to be a transparent process, and it needs to be a process where we also seek counsel. So they went and they saw our pastor and received that counsel. And we then went through, a series of psychometric or tests and certain profile tests, and that's when it was decided that they would pass the baton and would work hand in hand in terms of leading the organization. So I think that was one of the things, but it wasn't full throttle at that juncture.
Yeah.
So I was appointed as the managing director. And my father's role, he was the CEO, and still steering the board of directors. And then I think it was a process of now slowly winning off up until 2016, when he then fully stepped.
How old were you in 2016?
2016 would be...
It's almost 8 years ago.
26.
Almost 9
Oh,
years.
yeah. So I'd be 25.
Okay.
Yeah, so 25. Yeah, 25.
Okay, 25-year-old, now running a business.
Yeah.
Discipline. Talk to us about discipline. 25 years old, you're running the whole company.
Yeah.
And I noticed that probably that's the time when you actually want to make people see that I think I'm the guy.
Yeah.
How did you manage to have a level-headed at the age of 25 running the whole company?
Yeah, well, I think as you'd know, Jerry, running a business is a roller coaster.
Exactly.
So I think we had gone through maybe a tough 2015. Coming to the end of 2014, 2015, we had a customer who sort of messed us up. So it was a tough period, but I think it was also a blessing because now I was so vested in just pushing and pushing the business. So really, it really becomes your baby that you have to keep showing up. You would know, there are times you don't want to wake up, but you have to keep showing up. You've got people who you possibly owe money. You have to keep showing up. You have letters from lawyers, but you have to keep showing up. So I think it was a good time and a good period to get grounded. And I think really, I would say corporately, really seeking God, even in that time and in that period, really helped me to remain grounded in that season.
Okay, thank you so much for that information. That's profound.
Yeah.
So as we're actually learning, guys, I think to me that's what I'm most passionate about. Why? Remember, we had buses like Munga, with bus companies like Kurakurerwa. Were a lot of them, but right now, where are they? They've all disappeared. It's not because those people at Juju. It's not those people. What I was lacking was that transition from the founder to the next generation was missing. Hence, you see those names have actually disappeared off the radar. So, thank you so much for actually telling us about building timeless business. So, when we come back after this short break, we'll be talking about how IT can actually transform this world and why is it an integral part of any businesses or any life in this modern world. So keep on watching.
As we celebrate 10 years of building timeless businesses, M&J would like to take this opportunity to honor and celebrate our valued clients. Over the years, we have grown together, creating partnerships that have transformed dreams into reality.
We don't just celebrate our achievements, we celebrate the trust you've placed in us. Trust that has made us your partners in starting and establishing your companies, and partners in navigating the challenges of business.
We've been your partners in investing in Zambia, South Africa, and other countries, helping you tap into new markets and opportunities for sustainable growth and future.
Partners in ensuring compliance with local laws and regulations, and partners helping you grow sales revenue for your company.
We've also been partners in establishing strong HR policies that will not only help your organization, but will also help you to attract the best talent.
Of course, we've been partners in embracing technology, helping you to acquire and implement the best solutions that can increase your efficiency and productivity in your business. Here is to many more years of building long-lasting brands, businesses that endure for generations to come. Here is to 10 years of building timeless businesses with M&J.
Did you know the same way people struggle with love relationships is the same way they struggle with sales? Think about the process of prospecting for that special someone, trying to impress them by selling yourself. Did you know you have to go through a similar process to win over customers? The book Sales Equals to Mjolo is evidence of how sales and love relationships are quite similar. It is the story of a doctor looking for the ideal wife for himself, but the narrative is also compared to how sales work. So when you read this book, you not only get educated, but also entertained. Read the book and you can just increase your chances of making more sales or improving your love life. To order your copy, you can get in touch using the contact information showing on the screen. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm hanging with Mr. Simon Nyamuda, the CEO of Compulink Systems. And he has been telling us about building timeless businesses, and he's living the dream, whereby his parents started the company in 1991. Here we are in 2024. The company is still running 33 years after. And that's remarkable because it's very difficult for us black people to have companies which can run for 30 years, because most of the companies are sort of more like deals. Yeah. So let us talk about the mantra. Like, I've noticed that most of the young people, they're falling in love with quick money.
That's true.
That's why you notice that you see a sport betting, it'll be full.
Oh yeah.
Forex, people, they want to do Forex trading. What can you actually say about deals, tender? Some people, they just focus on entrepreneurship and they've got 15 companies. They sell everything.
Yeah.
So what can you actually say about building a vision and know where you really want to go? Because I've noticed that most of the people are driven by making money. And we end up, when you get that money, we no longer have a vision.
That's true.
So how did Compulink actually build its vision? And what's our vision? What's our mission statement and our core values as Compulink?
All right. So, like what you're saying, it's pivotal to really have a firm foundation and really to have focus. It's very easy for you to reach a point where you're a jerk of all trades and you're a master of none. So it's so pivotal for you to just have a solid vision, and really your vision is your desired future of how you're going to achieve and how you're going to accomplish, and your mission is basically the description of how you're going to get there. And then your values really become your guardrails to how you do it. So really, one of the key things is just being consistent and staying true. I think we've seen here, even in Zimbabwe, the advent of mob psychology.
Exactly.
Sack potatoes, and then everyone's doing sack potatoes. Zviuta. Everyone's doing zviuta. So
now we are runners.
Yes, and now
everyone's going to South Africa, get clothes into Zim.
Everyone's a runner. But really, you really need to have a firm foundation. And my encouragement really for the young people is really build line upon line, precept upon precept. And, my pastor always says this, Pastor Tom Tuchel, that how you obtain is how you maintain. And that really means that if you're going to obtain quick money, it will also grow wings and it flies away.
Exactly.
And that's why you see documentaries of people who've won the lottery, and such as how I blew it.
Soccer players.
And now they've got nothing. Yeah. But these were millionaires, multi-millionaires.
They were earning £500,000 a week.
Yes, but they didn't have that grounding. They didn't have that financial literacy. To sustain the vision. So the vision that we have even at Compulink is to be a world-class systems integration house, building business values that drive industry and commerce, that really provide the best value to our customers. And really the purpose or the mission of the organization is really to release to our customers a solid knowledge management tool that really gives them a competitive edge through the use of ICTs. And key to our values is integrity, ethical behavior, open and honest communication, innovation and creativity. And these are the things we also believe in, giving a solid return even to the shareholders as well.
That's good.
Even as our values. And we are a Christian organization, so we are led by the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords.
That's good. That's profound. So, when you're working at Compulink, you guys are providing IT solutions.
Yes.
To many people in Africa. My question is, why do you think companies, especially small to medium enterprises, they now know the importance of having IT experts in their organizations? With your experience, do you think this? Because why am I saying this? If you notice right now, small to medium enterprises, probably are the biggest employer right now. Yes, people, they say it's the government, but I tend to differ because you look at the number of small to medium enterprises which are there, company which is employing 1%, 2, 3, 4, 5, and when you're going to add all those numbers, because some of these employees and small companies are not registered at NASA. Hence, for them to get that data now, they cannot get everyone who is employed. And I strongly believe that even on unemployment rate, it's not actual.
Definitely.
It's probably, yes, it's high, but it's probably lower by 20%. Because why? Most of these people are not registered with NASA.
100%.
So my question now is, does the small to medium enterprise appreciate the importance of having an IT department or IT consultants to say, we need people like you?
I think currently very few would have an appreciation of the value that ICT would bring to their business. And the reason I say that is that many of us are using manual systems.
Exactly.
We if it's a small SME, there's no accounting package, there's no customer relationship management system, there's no full appreciation of the tools that they can use. And really, we've migrated from a place where ICT is a cost center, it's a cost unit. ICT is driving the business.
That's the business.
100%. So no matter what business you're in, ICT is pivotal because it brings about the ability for you to get exponential growth.
Exactly.
It gives you clientele reach, even that is borderless.
Exactly.
So even right now, you can be servicing clients within the diaspora.
Exactly.
Using the tools and leveraging. So I think people are only scratching the surface. Yes, we do see some WhatsApp businesses. We do see some, social media accounts. But I think there's so much more that can be done to bring about that exponential growth through the use of ICTs. That functions which were being done by multiple members of staff can even be condensed if you're now using ICT. So they actually focus more on your core business.
Exactly.
Than actually having manual processes, manual systems, manual receipt book, manual
everything is
delivery note, manual. So now when you lose that documentation, it also becomes a crisis.
A crisis as well. So in other words, you're saying, and how can you actually make them appreciate the importance of having ICT solutions in their companies? How can we actually have a drive? I noticed that I just this year and last year you were on an overdrive where you hosted some seminars.
Yeah, definitely.
And you were trying to educate the masses on the importance of ICT.
Yes.
How did it come out? Were the people, did they respond? And also, do you see a change? Because I strongly believe that as far as even the government has got the Ministry of ICT, but us as private players have got the role to play because we are closer to the market than those guys.
Definitely, 100%.
They're just policy makers, but we are here on ground with the people who are running businesses in Bare.
Yes, 100%.
You look at what is happening along Simon Mazoro's, all those are businesses. And I strongly believe that if Zimbabwe is going to be successful, our success is hinged on small to medium enterprises. If they're going to grow into large companies, start paying more taxes, employing more people, contributing to the economy, exporting their goods and services outside our borders, Forex will start trickling in. How can we reach that stage? What can we do? Yes, you played your part, you're doing seminars. How can we actually reach out to the guy who is in Bare, guy who is in Popoma, guy who is in Fakos, who is in Sakubva, who started his business?
Definitely. So I think, Jerry, what we need to do is it needs to be built from the ground up. So it goes right through to the grassroots. It goes right through to our education system. We now have artificial intelligence. Our young kids should be learning about artificial intelligence from a primary school level to say, what can I do with artificial intelligence? Learning things like coding, some of these skills. And really that transformation will come right through from the education sphere, from a young person who's growing up, whether government school, whether private school, will see that digitalization drive. And I'm happy that even the Ministry of Finance has allocated a budget even towards digitalization.
Exactly, I'm happy about that
with
as well.
funds going to the schools. So I think once we have young people who know what it can bring, it will also build a snowball effect to all the other initiatives which Ministry of ICT is running with, which private sector players such as M&J, Compulink are running with. And we launched this year the Evolve ICT Africa Summit. And it's also one of the tools where we're saying, let's expose ourselves. Let's have those scales removed because we've got blind spots.
Exactly.
People generally don't like change. And
Yeah.
if you've been using a typewriter all your life, if it's like, here's a MacBook, it'll be like, you'll always try and gravitate to
that's true.
to what you know. But let's break those barriers. Let's break those bridges, and know that we can transform our organizations. We can transform our entities. Even if you're a small business, some of us are running businesses on our cell phone. If that cell phone is stolen, what happens?
What happens?
Do you have backups?
Where are you storing your data?
What security do you have on your phone? Do you have multi-factor authentication? So it's just these small issues. Start where you are, but start. And it's never too late. Even for the older generation and the older guard. Yes, the young people, these are the digital natives, but you can be a digital immigrant where you can learn at any stage and pivot. Find young people, find consultants, work with people who are willing to help you, and you can grow and scale your business. And you can create even more time for yourself by migrating manual processes and digitalizing them, even through companies such as M&J, SERPA, to really digitalize your businesses.
Okay. Thank you so much. So I think that's actually profound. So, what challenges did you face? So remember, you guys experienced 1991. And 1991, that was when the father launched the company. ASAP came.
Yeah.
I think 1992 was a tough year.
Oh, yeah.
We had 1998, we had 2008.
Black Friday, yeah.
We had a lot of years where things were actually very hard. As an entrepreneur, when was probably your worst, which you can actually say this was my worst year or my worst day, and how did you manage to come back from that? Because sometimes when you're running these companies, sometimes you feel like, I just want to give up and die.
Oh, yeah.
It's better I had not actually joined this company. Probably I'd followed my different career. These problems are too much.
Yeah.
Did you ever had that period? And how did you manage to come back from that?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Definitely. And I would say it happened in phases. I would say maybe 08, 09 probably was one of the first phases where funds in the bank account, we had a big balance and then it evaporated.
Exactly.
So I'd say that was one, and I would say another time was that time period in 2015. And in 2015, what we actually had to do, we actually had to even migrate the business back home and operate it at home for a season. So these are some of the sacrifices that you need to take, even as an entrepreneur and someone who's in business.
I still remember. I can testify that.
Yeah.
I can testify that because I still remember meeting mom and dad at your place.
Yeah.
Okay. But
So
you
these are the
as a person,
Mm-hmm.
how can you actually say probably, how do you come out of all this kind of situation? Because I've got most of the entrepreneurs who are killing themselves, shooting themselves. I've got one of our brothers, our client, who actually shot himself after getting all these kind of pressures, whereby lawyers are coming one after another, attaching everything, and you think that, I think if I just die, it's the end. How can you actually encourage other entrepreneurs? And the young people are also engaging in this part of entrepreneurship. It's not easy. But it's rewarding, but it's not also easy. What do you want to say to them?
So what I would say, Jerry, is really as a believer, seek God.
Exactly.
Have people who you can talk to.
Mm.
Have people who you're accountable to. Have people who speak life into you. The enemy wants to make you feel like you're defeated.
Mm-hmm.
And usually we over-amplify problems. And even in my career, and even I'm sure in your career as well, Jerry, there are times where you think there's an issue, but when we think about the issue, we always over-amplify it to how it seems. So it's never the end. It's never the end. If God's given you that vision, you can always relaunch. You can always refire. And you just can't give up. I mean, look at, Strive Masiwa. He formed Econet in 1993. He only got the license in 1998. So for 5 years, what were these guys doing?
Where were they getting the salaries?
Where were they? And they were not there. But they believed so much in the vision.
To the extent that they couldn't give up.
So even your vision is even better than money.
Exactly.
Because provision follows a vision.
Yeah, profound.
So don't give up. Seek counsel. Have people who give you advice. If you need consultants, engage consultants.
Because one day things can actually go wrong any day, anytime.
Yes. And always learn from those who have gone ahead of you, and that's why it's also good to read biographies. I think there's that famous picture of an iceberg that's at sea. Many people only see the mountain, but what they don't see is underneath there's so much more. There's the blood, there's the sweat, there's the tears, there's the sleepless nights, there's the sacrifices. I mean, even here, M&J, I mean, you guys work Saturday, Sunday, public holidays.
Exactly.
But someone may say, I want that success. But they don't know the groundwork. They don't know the blood and the sweat and the tears that's going in. So also count the cost. Entrepreneurship isn't easy. It's not for the faint-hearted.
It's not for the faint-hearted.
But it's doable.
Okay. That's great. So, as your parting shot to our viewers, what do you want to say to young people who are dreaming? Mm-hmm. Some of them, they've never started a company. Mm-hmm. Some of them, they are also young people. Their fathers, grandfathers at companies.
Yes.
And what you want to say to someone is in Mzarabani,
right.
Lupane, the disadvantaged one, motivating them to say, I think they can actually be part of transformation of the Zimbabwean economy.
Okay.
Because I strongly believe that this economy can be better, but only if entrepreneurs can actually build this economy, not politicians. Politicians, they just give us space and
they
policies.
Just provide the platform.
Then, what can you actually say to those guys who are disadvantaged, who are dreaming, who are thinking that they can be the next Strive Masiwa, the next Elon Musk, probably? We never know.
Thanks, Jerry. What I'll say is that nothing is impossible. Even looking at it from a granular grassroots level, from Zarabani, many people shun even what their parents do. Mm-hmm. Some of your parents might not be entrepreneurs. They might not have a business, but they've got a trade. There's something that they know. So value your parents. I think that's one starting point.
Very important.
Honor your parents, because sometimes there's certain skills that you actually get even through your parents, whether they're even artisans. There's something you can learn, and you can build, and you can stand on their shoulders. So I'll say, firstly, take a keen interest even in your parents, whether they're running a store of selling vegetables. There's something you can learn there. Whether it's relationships, whether they are welding, there's something you can learn there. Whether it's agriculture, in the agriculture field, or they're working for someone else, there's something that you can learn. So as Africans, as people of our pigmentation, let's not always start from scratch. There's somewhere where you can start. Even if your parents didn't have a business, there's relationships that they have. Don't always be starting from scratch. There's relationships that you can leverage off of, that you can take, and that can even have a transformative impact in your lives. There's skills that you can learn from your parents. Do not shun your parents. Really participate, take a keen interest, and really want to grow and even fight for your family name and for the family vision. The next thing that I would say is that it's possible. Don't be negative. You can create the environment. You can create the environment. Like we said earlier on, that, provision will always follow a vision. So even to that young person who is Kumusha, know that nothing is impossible. Your dream is possible. Keep pursuing that dream. Whether you want to be the next Elon Musk, whether you want to build a rocket, and never let someone else speak into your vision. There's a Chinese proverb to say, never let the person who's not doing get in the way of the person who's doing it. Right?
That's profound. Yeah.
So never let someone tell you your vision is too big or is too small, because only you have your unique vision. So dream without limitation. Zimbabwe is ripe for business. Zimbabwe is ripe. The funds are there. The money is there. The clients is there. It's only about how you are going to perceive it. So go out there, reach for the stars, and if you fall, you'll land upon the clouds.
That's good. Go out and reach for the stars. And Zimbabwe is certainly open for business. For those who have got the eyes to see, I know that people can actually say, where is the business? But business is there, and business is you. Business is me. So thank you so much, Mr. Simon Nyamura, for gracing our podcast. And I hope you guys learned. The guy was preaching. He was dropping bars. And I hope young people are being encouraged to get into businesses. Those who are already in business also, you are getting knowledge and critical information which you can use to take your business to somewhere. We want to grow our economies. We are not looking only for Zimbabwe. We are looking for the continent as a whole. We are looking at Zambia. We are looking at Malawi, South Africa, Botswana, up to Togo, Nigeria, Rwanda. We are all Africans and we are one country. The borders, I believe that they're just there as a temporary measure. But let us go out and push for the business to grow. So remember, guys, to always subscribe and remember to share and comment on our podcast. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you, Mr. Nyamuda, for coming.
Thanks so much, Jerry.
Bye-bye. Until now.